Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Classically Chloe Show. I have a fantastic guest for you yet again today. Terrence K. Williams is a fantastic comedian. I just absolutely love his content. He's hilarious, and I'm so excited for him to be joining us today. So, Terrence, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Hey, Chloe, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is a
Of
great time
course.
to be alive. It's a great time to be alive.
It absolutely is. It is the new age, I think, of America, and I'm super excited about this. So let's jump right in and talk about something you've done recently. You just came out with a book, and I haven't read it yet, but I've seen a lot about it, and it looks fantastic. And pull up the cover of that book, and just tell us about your new book, The Little Kid Who Can.
It is a motivational children's book inspired by my life of growing up in foster care. The purpose of this book is to inspire and motivate children to be great and to do and to believe in themselves. We got to get our children back to believing in themselves. And, so that's why I did this book. I first came out with a book called From the Foster House to the White House about my foster care story. Now that book is for older kids and young adults. But I wanted to do I wanted to do a children's book, and with a children's book you have to make it fun for the kids, right? So I did a children's book inspired by my foster care story, and the whole purpose is to motivate and inspire our lovely American children to be great and to do great things.
I absolutely love that because I think that one of the best things that can be done right now, especially moving forward in these next 4 years, we're so focused on how to improve America and how to improve our American culture. One of the best things we can do is to motivate the youth to be great and to not just, aspire for, um, you know, to be mediocre in their lives, but to really do great things and to see how they can
Right.
best impact those around them. And I love that you're doing that. It's fantastic.
Yes, because which is sad because we have so many people right now discouraging our children in this country. Telling kids they can't do this and they can't do that because they're this color or because they're that color. But in this country, you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you work hard. You have to work hard. It comes down to working hard. It comes down to having faith. It comes down to believing in yourself and putting God first. That's what it all comes down to.
Absolutely. So, you're kind of taking on, there's a lot of aspects to entertainment culture, in America. Culture is a big part of our country. It's a big part of what influences people, especially the youth. And, you're taking on, I guess, like the literature side of that a little bit with your new book. And I think it's super important that you're getting a good message out there to kids and through that way of communication. And I think something else that's super important that, I talk about a lot is the music culture. And right now, the musicians and the culture that they're promoting through their music and through their lyrics and through their lifestyle that they put out there for everyone to see is so destructive, so anti American, so anti family. And so, what do you think needs to happen there as far as maybe, I don't know, an alternative music industry? Maybe we need to just talk about, the issues here more. Maybe we need to support the alternatives more. What do you think about all that?
Well, when you say alternative music, what do you mean by alternative music? Because there are a lot of music options out there right now.
Sure. Well,
There's a,
I guess what I'm getting at here is musicians who want to create something that has really good values in it, that isn't bowing down to the ideology of the left, that can just, have just it doesn't have to be political music. It doesn't have to be about even God or about MAGA or whatever, but just about
yeah.
just music that you enjoy, that you can dance to and have fun to, that isn't of the left. How do we support something like that and make it the forefront of our culture?
Well, yeah. So, I'm really not. Listen, I am not a music artist. I don't know really how it really comes down to promoting music. But this is the thing with music, people have to like what they hear, right? So that's the thing. We just need to probably support a lot of great artists, a lot of great artists who want to put out good music, who can put out really, really great music. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to, is the music good? So we can have an alternative where we are supporting more positive music, but it has to be good. It has to sound good, right? So we have to support talented people who want to promote positivity, who want to, promote God, right? Or promote conservative values, promote good things, because there is a lot of trash music right now. A lot of trash music. And unfortunately, listen, people love it. They do. People love it because it sounds good to them. So we have to make
Hmm.
fun of music. So I guess the conservative side has to support these music artists, because it's hard it's hard being a musician already. It's not easy to become a top performing musician.
Sure.
It's not easy to get your music on the radio. That's not easy. And a lot of these, it takes a lot of money as well. These record companies dump millions on top of millions into these artists. They put millions into
Yes.
promoting that trash music, okay? They spend millions of dollars promoting filth. So it's going to take millions of dollars to promote good music.
I
It's going to take millions and millions of dollars to promote good music. So we have to maybe come up with what? Maybe a conservative record label, but we need our wealthy millionaires and billionaires on the conservative side who believe in culture and believe that it should be better. And we need them to probably put their money up to help out, promote this music, right? Because it takes money at the end of the day. It takes money. It doesn't even matter if a song goes viral. It's still going to take money to promote that artist and to get that music out there to more and more people. So yeah, I think we have to put money into it, but the music has to be good
Yeah.
though. Okay?
I
You can't
completely
just
agree with
say.
everything.
Mhm.
No, I completely agree with everything you just said there. You made a lot of really good points. First of all, the first thing you were saying is that it has to be good. And unfortunately, a lot of the alternative music options that are there that aren't just the trash, you know, I think one issue they're having as far as becoming really good is that they're not being funded, like you said. They don't have this great funding in abundance, and they're not getting the resources needed to create the art that is actually people are going to enjoy. And I think that that's hugely important to actually get the conservative movement and those that have the financial ability to actually support these people to say, hey, look, this is important. This is actually having an impact on the youth and on the direction that our culture and then of course our nation is taking. This is having a large impact. So let's actually support it. And also, you're one of the very few I've actually ever heard call this out, talking about that, on the conservative side, we have to really promote these people, and it has to be more than just going viral, because going viral, like we have Oliver Anthony went viral a couple of years ago for his try no, I'm sorry, for his oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on the name of the song. Um I cannot remember, but Jason Aldean went viral for his "Try That in a Small Town." Oliver Anthony went viral for his song, and we have musicians that here and there come out with something that's conservative or maybe a little controversial or whatever, and they go viral for about a week or so, and then it kind of vanishes again, and it doesn't really make that long lasting impact on our culture that needs to be happening. And so it's very refreshing to hear you say, beyond just telling the artist, hey, you have the internet, go for it and go viral on your own. It has to actually be, there needs to be an effort, a concerted effort on our side as conservatives to really put something into this movement of creating better entertainment for Americans and especially for the youth.
Most definitely. That's what it takes. Some people think it's so easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. Some of the greatest artists that you see right now, they have a lot of support behind them, a lot of support. Their executives are not telling them, "Oh, just post." They're putting money. They're flying. They're putting money. They're putting money into events. They're putting money into building posters and putting their music all over the radio. It costs. Those radio spots cost. It's not cheap at all. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that. Okay. It takes more than it takes. We can't just talk about it. We really have to put money into this stuff. And unfortunately, everybody does not have the money to do that. Okay. But the ones who do, you have to convince them to do it. Hey, are you interested in invested in this or doing this? But you have to find people who genuinely care and who genuinely understand. But yes, but and this is a great thing about America too. At the end of the day, this is a free country, and everybody right now has a right to put out whatever kind of music they want. And there's Christian artists out there right now. There are good Christian artists who sing about positivity. There's artists who sing about the devil. There are artists who sing about God. There are artists out there who sing about love. There are artists out there who sing about sex and all kind of and killing and stealing and drug dealing, because America is a freedom of speech, and that includes music. So it is a lot of options out there, but the problem is that some of the bad stuff ends up being promoted more than some of the good stuff because people like
Absolutely.
drama. That's why you got these reality shows. People love drama. They people like that messy, nasty, filthy, disgusting stuff. It sounds good on the radio to some people. To a lot of people, it's party music. So maybe we should
Sure.
promote good, positive party music because people love party music because that's a lot of the music that is promoted a lot. Listen, I've been to some conservative events and they were playing some it was some hip hop in the background, because people like to dance, it was that dance music. So we need to, promote, we need to, find good artists who can put out good dance music, good party music. That is the music that really goes viral really quick and can also become like radio hits. It's music that will make people dance. People can listen to it at parties, birthday parties, family reunions. So if we put money into positive dance music, it could probably do really big.
Yeah, I think you have a really good point there, and especially it's kind of like those timeless classics, you know. I love your videos where you're dancing out with your speaker on wheels and
Oh
partying or
yeah.
whatever is happening in politics, whatever. You've got just the greatest playlist behind you there, and it's like what happened to those timeless classics that just weren't filth? I mean, they didn't have to necessarily be about super duper conservative values, but they had there's something about them that just wasn't trashy. It was good,
Right,
like you said, dance music is celebrate. That's celebration. Like I don't know, Cool in the Gang or
right.
whatever who sings that. Just good stuff. And like, what happened to that kind of entertainment? And I want to bring up too, a lot of your videos also are making fun of the psycho radical leftist lunatics who are
Uh-huh.
700 pounds and dancing around with their purple hair and can't determine what pronouns they're supposed to use. And it's like, well, do you think that really came from these people listening to Joe Biden talk about this and that's where they got those values, or is it because of the culture they've been consuming? It makes you think. It's like, is this actually coming from politicians, or is it really coming from the culture and
Yeah.
the entertainers who are really putting this into our into the ears of our population?
Well, some of these people are most definitely not getting it from Joe Biden. Younger people don't follow. Younger people do not follow. Most young people do not follow after older people. They just don't. Teenagers are not following after a 70-year-old man. They're not. They're not like being influenced by a 70-year-old man. You can barely get kids to listen to their parents. They're most definitely not going to listen to some 80-year-old man like Joe Biden. But I think it's the culture, is what they're seeing on TV. It's what they're seeing on MTV, VH1. It's what they're seeing on, when they turn on Netflix. It is what they're seeing in what Hollywood is putting out, not what Hollywood. Most of these people are learning this stuff from Hollywood. They're putting this crap in the movies and TV shows. This is where they are learning it, and this is where then we complain a lot about what they're putting on TV and what they're putting in movies and TV shows. Us complaining about it is not going to stop it. The only way that we can compete with that is to also put out movies, TV shows, and we put our messages in these movies, in these movies and TV shows. That's what we have to do. We can't just sit back and say, I can't believe they made that movie. Oh my God, they need to stop making movies like this. They need to stop making TV shows like this. They're not. It's their money. This is America. They're going to continue to make what they want to make because it's a free country. So we can cry, complain all we want to. We have to put up money to do the same thing. Put our agenda in movies, put our agenda into TV shows. We can't convince somebody to like listen to us. It's their money. It's their money. They want to waste their money on that. They can do that. It's just their right. And there's nothing we can do about
Absolutely.
it but cry and complain. And the movie theaters, they're going to continue to put movies in there. They don't care what people are complaining about on the internet. they're going to put that in movie theaters. We just have to do the same thing.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what we
like the
have.
biggest thing you said there. Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest thing you said there is like basically to compete we have to create. And if we're not creating, to compete you don't complain, you create. That needs to be a t-shirt somewhere. Maybe you can sell it. But
Exactly.
it's like it's not a matter of just calling them out all the time, which of course like what I'm doing right now is calling them out, but it has to go
Yeah.
beyond that. It has to be you call them out, you identify the problem, then you create. You don't just stop at that. And that's I think a huge issue and kind of transferring over from this topic to something else that's kind of similar, but is about you can't just like let's talk about Maha a little bit, okay? Because you can't just say,
Mhm.
"Oh, the food we're consuming is so bad for us, so just don't eat." Just tell McDonald's to stop making bad food. I mean, they're not going to do that. They're capitalizing off of it in massive numbers.
Right.
Clearly, you're not going to just stop and say, "Oh, oops, I'm sorry. We should be more healthy." So and it's the same. I feel
Right.
like with culture, entertainment, and food and like I think a lot of people don't know and don't realize what they're consuming, whether that be food, whatever they're consuming medically or in entertainment, like movies and music and whatever. Like
Mhm.
for example, your pancakes. You made a video saying, "Hey, I didn't know that half the ingredients that is just kind of like typical we're used to seeing on a box is actually not good for you. I'm going to do better. I'm going to actually start doing something to change this and use beef tallow and do this and do that to actually make sure my products aren't, contributing to this problem in America." And the same thing I think needs to happen in music and in culture is say, hey, look, we need to recognize this is having this, terrible effect on our youth and on our culture and on our country. And with that said, it's like, let's take that and not just say, oh, that's terrible, tell Hollywood to stop, but say, hey, let's actually create something better that's
Mhm.
actually worthwhile, people will actually enjoy.
Most definitely. We have to create alternatives. Now, listen, unfortunately, everybody can't do that, right? Because you need funds to do
Mhm.
it. Now, we still need people to talk about it because we wouldn't be talking about it if we didn't have people like you and me to get the message out there, right?
Sure.
So the more voices speak up and we talk about it, then people we can put it into people's heads. Like, okay, maybe we should make a change. So there's nothing wrong with getting the message out and talking about it.
I agree.
So you have a group of people who can help get the message out. Okay, everybody plays a role. You have people who can get the message out. Then you have people who have the funds and the creativity to create an alternative. So that all goes hand in hand. So the people who can create, the people who do have the funds, and also the time to create an alternative, I think that's a great investment, whether it's in music, whether it's in movies, in food, or whatever. Anything that will better the human life, and also music can better the human life because some of this trash music, influences some of our youth to do bad things. So if we, if we promote more music that was similar to the 70s and the 80s, music that sounded real good and wasn't all filthy and trashy. Of course they probably had some stuff, but it was not like today's music. So, and what people see on TV, some people, a lot of people do monkey see monkey do. People see stuff on TV and they want to do what they see on TV, and a lot of the times it's a lot of bad crap on TV. So we just got to put out better music, better entertainment, better food. We need to just make everything great again. Everything across the board. Music great again, movies great again, TV shows great again. We need to make food great again, make everything great again.
Absolutely. I think Donald Trump, the whole "Make America Great Again" thing, is way bigger
Mhm.
than any of us really realized in the beginning of this. "Make America Great Again" is such a simple statement.
It's
It's
a
like, and
movie.
it's
It's
such
a
a
movie.
simple word too. Yeah, it's such a simple word, just great. But I mean, greatness can be really, really influential and impactful in a nation. So I think that's he really grabbed something awesome there when he came up with "Make America Great Again." Because and it's not just our nation. I mean, it is our nation, but it's like think about what creates a successful and a great nation is so many different
Mhm.
elements. You have to have a healthy society, which includes entertainment, which includes
Most definitely.
food and medicine and everything that goes into this. I think these next 4 years are going to be I pray, are going to be so
Golden.
so And oh, absolutely, and so impactful in the direction our nation is taking, and I'm just very hopeful for this time. So let me ask you, Terrence, you know, um, as someone who creates this kind of content, you see these leftist lunatics all the time, and
all the time.
do you think? I mean, and
Oh,
it gets overwhelming because you see them left and right everywhere, all over Instagram, all over the social media platforms, TikTok, whatever. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, they're actually out of their minds. Like, how are we going to fix this? And we talk about, oh, well, the school system failed us. True, very true. Oh, well, parents, mothers not being in the home is a problem. True, again, very true. But, let's go back again to music and entertainment. And what do you think these next 4 years have to offer as far as shifting our culture in a better direction?
yeah, I mean, I really hope that a lot of people listen. It's going to be tough, okay? Because you cannot always fix crazy. Some people are just absolutely crazy, and there is no fixing crazy with some people, right? But we can start with the new generation. But then again, some of these crazy people are having kids, and they're going to teach their kids crazy stuff because they're crazy. So I don't even really know how do we like what is the I don't know. How do you fix that? How do you stop a crazy person from teaching their kids crazy stuff? You can't. You can't at all. Okay, you can't do it. It is impossible. But we have to just encourage people to be better, to do better, and then hopefully they will pass that on to their children. But if you really think about it, how are you going to stop a flaming, crazy, lunatic cat, some woman who thinks she's a cat? How are you going to stop her from teaching her kids craziness? Donald Trump can't do it. I can't do it. You can't do it. It is her child. And this is America. And people have the right to teach their kids whatever they want. So
That's
that is the hard part.
unfortunately very true.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't stop preaching. We can't stop preaching the gospel. We cannot. We have to continue to put out the word, put out the message, put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. Put it in. We need to put the Bible back in these schools. Put God back in the schools, because even if they are being taught to be crazy liberals at home, maybe if they go to school, they are influenced to they are influenced to do better and be better than what their parents are, have like than to do better things than whatever their parents are like teaching them, so I think it does start with the schools too. We gotta put God back in the schools. We need better teachers, right? Because listen, there are a lot of cases as well where kids do not listen to their parents. Okay, that's a fact.
Mhm.
There are a lot of children on both sides. I know conservative mothers and fathers who taught their kids to grow up and be conservative, and their kids are flaming liberals because of their schools, because of the school they went to, their teacher, or their professor. So we need better teachers and we need better professors, okay? And
Absolutely.
who can prevent people, who can help prevent these children from growing up being crazy, flaming weirdos like some of their parents.
Yeah, and I want to point out what you just said because that was a really good point. It's like, kids don't always listen to their parents. That's actually, a lot of times that's the case. And the thing is, if when they go out into the world outside of their sheltered homes, whether their homes be insane or whether they be, have good values, when they go out into the world, they're going to be influenced in some way, and they're influenced largely by the schools, by the professor, like you said, and also by the entertainment, and by what they see as popular and cool on social media with the music and the movies and the whatever whatever influencers are being praised at the time. And I think that if we can kind of capture at least that element and at least get, most of America to strive towards a better culture and a better, I guess, hold themselves to a higher standard when it comes to
Mhm.
what they're consuming, especially, that can have a huge impact on the kids that are coming out of these crazy homes where they're raised by flaming liberals, come out and say, hey,
Right.
the rest of society actually praises this and looks towards this and wants to strive towards goodness and and wholesomeness in culture and in society. And that's what I want to be like. I want to strive to be like that. And I think that's really important. That's something that you're creating too, just as an influencer yourself, as someone who has a large following and who really promotes goodness in our culture, and the ability to laugh at ourselves and other people too.
Most
And
definitely.
and and like with your book, for example, and both your books actually, your first book being like, look, people, don't isolate yourself and say, hey, I can't do this because I wasn't given the exact opportunities to make this a piece of cake for life. If you weren't necessarily raised with the most easy upbringing, but you made something of it that was really beautiful and something that's going to, hopefully, I believe you already are influencing so many people to strive towards living more like that. And also then with your book now, again, now you're reaching the youth. Now you're saying, look, kids, you can do something with your life. Doesn't matter where you come from. You're in America. It's the greatest country ever, and you can really do something with it. So I think it's fabulous you're doing that, and I think that we have a lot of hope for Americans moving forward, especially with these next 4 years with our great president back in the White House. I think that we're really going to have a chance to turn things around. And it's going to take, like you said, all of us, whether it's talking about it, actually acting on it, funding it, whatever needs to happen. We
Definitely.
all as Americans need to be involved is 100%, in on this mission as possible to turn our country around and make it great again.
Most definitely. It's going to take all of us to come together as one to make this country great again. We have to listen because the fight is not over. Donald Trump won,
Nope.
but the fight is not over. The fight goes on. If you look at, I mean, look at history. Okay, listen. People have been crazy for a very long time. For a very long time. Not stop being, and we're always gonna have crazy people. So we always are. There's always going to be a fight. There's always going to be a fight. There's always going to be something to fight for. Okay, we got to continue to fight, 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 because evil does not stop. Evil does not stop, and I repeat that because I want people to understand. Evil does not stop. Evil is not going to sleep. Evil is not going on vacation. Evil does not take a break. Evil Evil goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, so we can never really get tired of fighting. We have to always find the energy to fight and never give up on what we believe in, and on what and never give up on what we think is right. Never give up on saving our children, on saving this country, because evil never goes on vacation. Okay, evil works 24 hours around the clock. Okay, so when you sleeping, evil is working. So when you wake up, get to fighting, because
Get to
evil
work.
done shit while you were asleep. Excuse my language. So you know that that this is real. This is real. Evil never stops. So we always going to have to keep fighting, no matter what. 4 years from now, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, 8 years from now, we're going to have to continue
Yep.
to fight for what is right, because this has been a long battle since mankind, good versus evil. This has been the battle, good versus evil. Ever since, ever since crazy Adam and Eve ate that apple, it's been good versus evil. Okay? It's been good versus evil. Good told them, don't you eat that, don't you eat off this tree, don't you eat this fruit off this tree. Okay? And evil told them, eat this damn fruit. And what they do? Eat it. Evil won right there. But we cannot always let evil win. Cannot let the evil win. So we have to continue to fight.
Absolutely. I love those last fighting words from Terrence there. Let's close out with that.
Thank you.
Do not stop fighting. Keep up the fight. Evil's always going to be there. It's always going to be a battle. It's not over just because we have the politician we want in office. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And, it's whether we were fighting in culture or in politics or wherever it may be,
right.
fight for good. The fight's never over. Wake up every day with the determination to do what you can to serve God and to fight against this and, make the world a better place every single day.
Absolutely.
So, Terrence, thank you so much for coming on. Please tell my
Thank
audience where they
you.
can find you.
So y'all can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Truth, X, at Terrence K. Williams, and my website, terrencekwilliams.com or cousintees.com. And my book is on thelittlekidwhocan.com. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Of course, Terrence. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Great to see you.
Thanks. Thank you. It's good to see you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Please subscribe to the podcast on Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. Please also subscribe to me. I'm sorry, follow me at classically_Chloe on Instagram, classically Chloe on all other platforms. And please also follow Make Music Right on all platforms to stay up to date on that project coming up in the works soon. Stay tuned. See you next week. God bless.